Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Slayer Talk. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It is April 4th, 1999 plus 1, 2000.
Oh my god, you did it again.
It's 2000!
It is.
We're 4 months in.
Yeah, get used to it, sir.
By 2004, I'll start saying 2000 something.
It is the 19th century.
It is the 21st century.
It is the 21st century.
Did you enter an alternate reality where we went back? What do you think we're counting the centuries down to? 19 centuries to go.
I can't breathe. Well, I knew that, like, there was math involved.
We found if you were a character on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, your arch nemesis would be math.
Apparently.
Wow. You knew that it wasn't the 20th because it doesn't go by, like, last century wasn't the 19th century.
Right.
Because it was the 1900s. You knew it was like something, but it's one higher.
Yeah, I thought it was one lower. Okay.
Because the first century went from 0 to 1000. Mm-hmm. So there was no, or from, I guess, year 1, technically. That's why technically it's not the millennium yet.
What?
I guess it's unofficially the new millennium, but 2001 will be the new millennium.
But
there's no year 0.
The new millennium.
But there's no year 0.
But everybody says it, so just go with it. Stop fucking with things. It's the new millennium, okay?
All right.
All right.
It's 2000.
Yes. Correct.
And speaking of alternate realities.
Right.
Interesting episode. I'm going to say this. So this is Superstar. I will say this. This episode that we do might not be as long as some of our episodes. I don't have a lot to say about this episode necessarily. And sometimes that happens when an episode sucks. But I thought this episode was really good. I liked this episode a lot. A somewhat of a departure from the normal flow of events of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But there's not a lot that happens outside of just like, we don't usually just go like, and then this happened, and this happened, and this happened. Like, there's not a lot that happens that has any kind of larger ramifications because this is all sort of self-contained.
Yeah, because it all gets undone.
Yeah. But good episode. One thing I thought was interesting is, so this is Jonathan Levinson, he's the guy that gave Buffy the You're the Protector of Our School award at the prom.
Okay.
Which they mention, but they flip the other way around. That Buffy gives him the Protector of the School award. Mm-hmm. And he's the one that was in that bell tower or whatever, he was going to kill himself.
Yeah, I remember that. I didn't remember the award thing until they mentioned it. But
and then Buffy saves him or whatever. We also get that helpful previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Which shows the whole bell tower incident. But now he is super popular. It's so, we'll get into the alternate reality thing in a second. But the thing that I think is funny and kind of fun about this is that this whole thing is usually when we have an episode where it's like, oh, things aren't right or whatever, this is like some kind of weird alternate thing. Like when we saw that mirror universe or whatever, from Star Trek, where Willow was a vampire and the master had taken over or whatever. Remember that?
Yeah.
That episode was a complete departure from everything that they were doing, and none of the the ongoing storylines mattered at all. In this one, we're definitely in an alternate reality, but we're still also addressing some of the ongoing storylines, about Riley sleeping with Buffy while she was Faith, or Faith while she was Buffy, and the thing with Tara too is that's heating up.
It is. Yeah, because what happens, because we haven't even told them yet. If somebody's listening, they haven't seen the episode, they don't know.
Well, they're monsters.
What happens is
No
the
offense.
episode starts out with the Buffy and the Scooby Gang finding a nest.
They've really leaned into that.
They
haven't
really
they?
have. Finding a nest of vampires
Mm-hmm.
and needing Jonathan Levinson to come help them.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
There's
Like,
like
it's very disorienting.
There's like 4 vampires feeding on a body.
And instead of just like,
And Buffy's like, I can't handle all 4.
what? In what universe? I mean, this universe, apparently, would that ever happen?
So, yeah, they go to his mansion. And he's like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. And while they're dealing with that, like, Buffy talks to him about her problems with Riley, gets his advice.
Yeah, I mean, that's later, but
Is
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
That's when they're at the Bronze.
Okay.
After he sings.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't have a bad voice, honestly.
No, he had a pleasant singing voice.
But yeah, he goes like Buffy is only able to kill 1, I think, of them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh, Jonathan, but you saved me," or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, it's all in a day's work."
Yeah, I don't like this version of Buffy. Buffy's the most
No.
different in this universe.
And she's the only one that also like kind of seems to know something's wrong. At some point, she kind of figures out something's wrong. But even at the beginning, she's like, she's talking like bad about herself and everything, but she seems like confused about doing it.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't understand. Like, how could I have only killed? Like, Sarah Michelle Gellar keeps that little bit of like, this doesn't 100% make sense, but
Right.
but I am saying this. It's a very good, subtle performance because I do think she's fighting against it a little bit. But I agree. The goodness about this show, or one of the great things about this show, is that it takes the damsel in distress like trope and flips it on its head to where the damsel is like the one kicking ass. So whenever there's an episode where Buffy is incredibly vulnerable, like she has vulnerabilities, which is
Sure.
good, which is good. You don't want her to be Superman,
Especially
because-
around sex.
Yeah. Well, you don't want her to be Superman because then that gets boring and everything.
Sure.
But whenever there's an episode where she's too vulnerable, it doesn't feel right. It's not good. It's not satisfying.
Yeah.
Like that Anne episode, like where she's like almost like, because she wasn't really using her powers, like almost depowered. It's like, this is not satisfying.
She used them eventually, though.
Yeah. Well, she saved those people from the hell or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they come out of the thing, and there's just reporters there, like it's a fucking post-game press conference.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. Well, there's reporters and groupies and whatever everywhere Jonathan goes,
Yeah,
taking his picture and...
because as it turns out, he's good at everything. He helps the Slayers. He's also a best-selling author. His book is called Oh, Jonathan.
Wow.
Yeah. He like they one thing that I really like about this episode is they do highlight some really silly things, like where he's like mobbed in public and stuff like that. But there's a lot of like just in the background stuff too. Like they don't really call attention to it, but in Riley's room, Riley's like shooting a basket and everything. And instead of like Michael Jordan like slamming a basketball, there's just a poster of Jonathan with a basketball.
Which is hilarious because he's short. It's very funny.
But so the main like thrust of the episode comes when this woman Karen like comes up and wants him to sign her book or his book, and then we see her like outside of his mansion, like stalking him, and she gets attacked by this creature, this long-armed like creature.
Demon. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously a demon.
Yep.
Don't you think?
Yes. I do think it's a demon. And we find out it's some kind of wish demon. I don't know.
That makes sense.
It's not exactly like the vampires, but
Well, the vampires, what?
Because vampires are demons.
But those are human bodies that are possessed by a demon. They don't look like demons, but the demons that we've seen walking around in this universe are ugly.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I don't know what one creature is to the next.
All right. But yeah, so you were saying? What?
Serious?
What do you mean?
Do you not remember anything that happened in this episode?
I remember some things.
Well, why don't you say one of the things that happened? Now we can talk about they all go to the Bronze. They all go to the Bronze, and it turns out that fucking what's her name, Anya, because she's in this episode again. That Anya said Jonathan's name during sex.
Oh yeah, this is so funny. When he's singing, you can tell she's just getting wet. She's just staring at him and then she's like, "Let's go have sex now, Xander." And he's like, "Okay."
Xander seems like enthralled by Jonathan too.
Yeah, a little bit. It's very weird.
But so they're at the Bronze, and after they weren't run off to have sex, Jonathan comes to talk to Buffy, and he talks to her about her relationship with Riley. Yeah. You wanted to talk about that, so go ahead.
Well, no, I was just because you brought up how that's one of the parallel storylines, and I was just thinking they both talk to him. She talks to him at the Bronze. Mm-hmm. Riley talks to him at a later point.
Yeah, in his room, I think. And
he gives them great advice. I don't remember what it was, so sorry for that.
Oh my god! So he says to Buffy, he's like, "Look, it sounds like." He's like, you can't blame him for not knowing it was you. And she's like, I know that. I know that, like, logically, where, it's not like you're sleeping with someone or whatever. And it's not like you're going to be, hey, you're a different person. Like, that's not a logical thing you're going to think. She's like, so I know, like, he couldn't have known it was me. And Jonathan's like, but in your mind, you think, like, in the most vulnerable of moments, in the closest you guys can be, he couldn't look into your eyes and see it wasn't you. Like, and that hurts you, and you need to forgive him for that. Like, you're holding resentment for that, so you need to forgive him for that.
Okay, so, like, I wasn't asleep, okay? I remember that now, but hearing you say it, like, I forgot how great, like, it really was very eloquent and well said, and I don't know, it's weird. Like,
thanks.
Well, Jonathan said it, not you.
What the fuck? Are we in a world where Jonathan gets all the credit? I'm sorry, Joss Whedon said it. Okay,
whatever. But I think it is well said. So I think she does forgive him after this too, though. I think he made it better
towards the end of the episode. Yes, because they bring it up at the end of the episode again. But to Riley, he says, basically, I mean, he doesn't give Riley as good of advice, I don't think, or as eloquent of advice. Because Riley is basically like, look, you're going to need to give her time. It's going to take her time to, to get over this. Like, you didn't do anything wrong necessarily, but, like, she's hurt and everything, and it's a weird situation for her, so you just need to give her some time to be okay with it.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, all right, thanks, Jonathan. You're the best.
So when I did fall asleep, and I will admit that I did fall asleep, was towards the end.
Everyone knows you fell asleep.
No, but the reason, because we had
I think you fell asleep a lot earlier than
we had a stomach bug. And we were just getting over it, and I was sick.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So was I.
Yeah, well, you're just stronger, better person than I am.
Exactly.
Congratulations.
I'm this world's Jonathan.
I mean, there's only a 1 hour of television time, and if I'm not awake, I can't help it, okay? I mean, what?
There's only a 1 hour of television
I'm saying, like, it's on for 1 hour. I have to watch it at that time, and I was tired. I couldn't help it. It's not like I could fucking hit pause and come back later.
But it's almost like someone could say, it's only an hour. How come you couldn't stay up for that 1 hour?
Because I was sick. Oh my god.
All right.
Mean?
I'm not saying I'm saying that. I'm just saying someone could make that argument.
So, like, I kind of, like, heard them talk a little bit about how there was...
I had a dream about it.
Jonathan
was riding a unicorn.
the demon
Uh,
was actually like to counterbalance a spell that Jonathan had cast. Now, I have a question.
I love how you said that like you just discovered that. Like you were in the episode.
I have a question, though.
Yeah.
How did Jonathan cast a fucking spell? Is he some kind of warlock? I mean, he's just an average dorky person, isn't he?
So this is another complaint I have about this show. It's a minor one, but... So, it's revealed towards the end of the episode that because, they figure out... So, real quick, this thing attacked Karen, right? Mm-hmm. And they're all like, oh, fuck. And she's like, it had this symbol on its head. And she draws this symbol, which is... It's just a triangle with some lines in it.
Oh, yeah, and he had a tattoo on his back that looked like the symbol that Karen drew.
Right. And Jonathan's like, oh, that's nothing. That's a fucking... That thing's nothing, man. Just forget about it. And that's when Buffy's like, what is going on? And she starts figuring out that he's not so perfect. And everyone else is like resistant of it. Riley's the only one that comes to her defense and is like, hey, listen, I mean, it seems crazy to me too. Even Giles is like, but Jonathan is the best. And he's got a Jonathan calendar, swimsuit calendar, which is how they find the symbol on his back. But like Riley's like, look, I have come to learn that Buffy can see things that other people can't. So I'm going to trust her instincts here. And they figure out, because Willow finds it in a book, the symbol, that it's a symbol of an augmentation spell. And he's done this spell that makes everyone think that he is the best of everything. He's like the best of all things. Mm-hmm. But to counterbalance the spell, it creates a demon that is the worst of all things. Which is weird because I guess the worst of all things is just a long-armed demon that like ineffectually attacks some people.
Right.
It would have been nice if it created like a human-looking like Antichrist or something like that. Like the worst of all things, like a really like an actual
bad
real
person,
big malevolent threat, like a very like world-ending kind of threat. Because you would think that would be the counterbalance, but it just creates this weird demon that is very easily defeated. But it comes out towards the end of the episode that after he tried to kill himself with the shotgun and everything, he went to therapy. And in therapy, there was just this dude that knew how to do an augmentation spell and taught him.
In therapy? Like his therapist or in group therapy?
A group therapy.
Okay.
There was just some other kid in the facility that had this thing. And it's like, this is like the third or fourth time where it's just been like, oh, my cousin knew this spell. Or my, like, how fucking prevalent is magic in this world?
Right.
Like, the world should be in much worse place than it is now if it is so widespread that so many people know that this actual magic exists and how to do it. Mm-hmm. Like, this should be limited to a very few amount of people. It's not just like some random person that the guy meets in group therapy and now he can do an augmentation spell. If that's the case, how come there's not augmentation spells all over the place? And how can we know anything we're seeing is actual reality?
Yeah.
Like, what if a vampire did an augmentation spell and that's why there's a fucking Hellmouth? Like, it's just like...
That's true. I mean, that's a very powerful spell.
It's too... Yeah, because it's not just little, like, things like that. This is, like I said, the third or fourth time where it's like, oh, you know, somebody told me how to make beer that makes people into cave people.
Right.
You know, like, it's too much. Like, this should be very contained. When you spread it out throughout the world like this, in reality, if this kind of power existed and just regular people had a hold of it, the world would be fucked.
Yeah. That's a very good point.
So that's the one of the problems I have with this. It's just anytime they need someone to do something like this, they're just like, oh, he just heard it from somebody. It's like, no, you can't do that.
Right.
So Buffy figures it out and they go to fight this demon. Now, it turns out that if you kill the demon, then everything goes back to normal. Like, demon dies, so all the evil dies, and then Jonathan becomes Jonathan again. The augmentation spell ends.
So does it end or does it get erased? Like, did it happen or not?
Well, Jonathan says at the end of the episode, because what they fight the demon, and this is like the least interesting part of the episode, really. They fight the demon, and as the demon gets weaker, he gets more like himself, so he gets less bold and more scared and starts hiding. But at the end, he does end up... It's weird. The demon took over this cave that just has a chasm in it that goes to hell or something. I don't know. It's just like it's like an unending chasm. Not exactly what I would want for my safe place to live.
Right?
You know, what if our house just had a giant chasm in the center of it?
Oh my god.
So anyway, Jonathan ends up pushing him into the chasm and kills him, knowing that it's going to erase all his stuff. So he's a good character. He sacrifices all of his stuff. He sacrifices the twins he's fucking. Right, because remember we go to his house and there's these two blonde twins there.
Yep, he's on his way to go have a threesome.
Yeah. So anyway, at the end of the episode, he's like, "Yeah, people are pissed at me because they all remember. Some people's memories are starting to fade, they say, but and I assume that over time their memories will completely fade of what happened." But some people are still their memories are fresh right now, and they remember this stuff, and they're not happy about it.
I wouldn't be either.
And he's like, and the twins moved out.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
So I kind of think it would have been better if it just undid everything because...
Do you think he got to have sex with the twins one more time before they moved out?
No.
Because think about it. If they remembered what happened and everything, right? He's the best of everything, right? So their sexy time together would have been the best they'd ever had. Now, once the spell's released and everything, wouldn't you be like, well, I mean, it was really good. Give him another shot. And then they had sex and it was he's just regular Jonathan. So they're like, yeah, okay, forget it.
Maybe. It just occurred to me as you were talking, though, that they're sisters. That's gross.
Yeah, the whole twin thing is never... We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
The whole twin thing, I think, is a weird fantasy. It's a weird incestuous fantasy, in my opinion.
Yeah, gross.
You can have a threesome without them being related. It's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, to answer your questions, people remember it, but it seems like memories are fading, so I think eventually they'll just forget.
Well, Buffy and Riley will remember that they made up.
Well, yeah, they do make up, and I don't really care that much because, I don't know, Riley's fine.
I know, I don't like him. I really don't. I don't even know why, I just don't.
He's okay. He's just not that interesting to me. The reason I don't like him is because he's just generic guy.
He's a giant puppy dog.
Yeah. He's not even that interesting. He's just like, I am Action Man.
Right.
But he's not even that good at it, because we already have Action Man. It's Buffy. She's the one that's good at it.
That's true.
But yeah, that's the episode. I liked it. I thought it was a good episode. It was
fun to watch.
Tara is holding hands with Willow. There's some real stuff going on here. We don't get any. They're just hinting at it a lot. I don't know if they're ever going to actually go there. It's like they're in love or whatever, but they look like a couple at this point to me.
I think I might have been asleep for that.
All right.
Can't weigh in on it, but I believe you.
But anyway, that is the episode for the week. Carol, tell people where they can find their own augmentation spell.
You can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep.
And share the tapes with your friends.
All right, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.